Check for sound. Check for power.
All systems online.
Episode 28. It's Loper. What's going on, guys? So glad to have you here. And I've been getting all the entries that everyone has been getting in for incarceration. And if you forget, we're giving away tickets, okay? At the end of this episode, I'm going to pick a name. At the end of next week's episode, I'll pick another name. And those will be our winners to go to incarceration all 3 days. Right in Mansfield, Ohio, the site of the blood prison. Yes, the Ohio Reformatory where Shawshank Redemption was filmed. Such a cool backdrop. One of the biggest tattoo and metal festivals on the planet. I think it might be the biggest. When it comes to tattoos and metal, what's bigger than incarceration? Follow me on Instagram at Jeremy Loper, and also make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel, and you can get tickets to incarceration. And if you don't know, well, watch this.
Incarceration, America's rock, metal, and tattoo festival with Slipknot. Falling in Reverse. Five-Finger Death Punch. Plus Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Beartooth, Knocked Loose, Lamb of God, Parkway Drive, I Prevail, In This Moment, and so many more. Report to the Ohio State Reformatory on July 18th through 20th, 2025 to face your sentencing. 3 days of rock, tattoos, and the return of the haunted blood prison. Passes for incarceration are on sale now at incarceration.com.
Well, let's just get into this. Do a little housekeeping here. Some news from around the music world. So there was a couple of different festivals that went down over the weekend. Of course, over in the UK was the legendary Download Festival. Back in the day called the Monsters of Rock, but for the last decade or plus, it's been called Download. And I mean, they had some pretty impressive performances. The band President that we were talking about last week, this masked band that I told you was a little more Point Break than they were Slipknot when it comes to their masks. Well, they had their first ever live performance. And what was really interesting about this was I was scratching my head going, they've only released 2 songs, like literally released 2 songs. What is their set going to be like? Well, when they hit the stage, they hit the stage in front of a huge crowd there at Download. It was like midday through one of the days there. And I mean, the crowd in front of the stage was pretty impressive, to be honest with you, because this was their first ever performance in public ever. Like, welcome, you're playing Download. So they hit the stage and they played 2 of the songs that we know, and then 3 songs that were previously unreleased, which was a treat if you have started to become a fan of the band President. They killed it. I mean, they absolutely killed it. There's still the rumors going around about who President is. If Sleep Token may have something to do with this band. They both have the same management company, so there's that rumor floating around. But speaking of Sleep Token, those guys, I mean, just have ascended to rock and roll royalty. And they headlined one of the nights at Download. I mean, to go from a band that would just get invited to actually being one of the headliners alongside Green Day, and I mean, some of the most iconic bands in rock music. I mean, Sleep Token, I don't know, outside of Jelly Roll, I don't know who else has had a faster ascent to the top. If you can think of anybody off the top of your head, I mean, hit me in the comments below, but I mean, Sleep Token, an absolute killer performance. Vessel, their lead singer, I mean, he was on fire. This guy, the voice on him is just so unlike anyone else. They mix in almost like R&B with metal. It's almost like its own subgenre that they've created, Sleep Token, and it's just been really fun to watch that band blow up. But yeah, Download, a lot of news coming out of that festival over the weekend, but over here stateside, we had the festival known as Bonnaroo in Tennessee, Manchester, Tennessee to be exact, just about an hour outside of Nashville, and this was a complete fucking disaster, guys. If you haven't heard, I mean, the severe weather that just absolutely hit them for the final 3 days was, I mean, it was like biblical. It was crazy. Like where they were camping, which is kind of essential to Bonnaroo, the camping area, it was completely flooded out. People were just grabbing their tents and running as fast as they can to higher ground. They did get in Thursday, which ironically enough, after the final 3 days were canceled, the first day saw Insane Clown Posse basically headline Bonnaroo. They were the final band to perform, And their set was knocked back a little bit by weather, but they were finally able to actually take the stage. It was a pretty rowdy set, as you can imagine, if you were at Sonic Temple and you saw ICP or at Rockville. But yeah, they killed it. I mean, they absolutely they put on a show and kind of captured a moment in time and solidified themselves, ironically enough, as the headliner of Bonnaroo. Now, that's not something I would ever think I'd ever say, is headlining Bonnaroo as ICP. But they did a great job, and they're kind of enjoying this renaissance of sorts. It's a Faygo renaissance, but a renaissance nonetheless. Another big festival that saw some action over the weekend, the return of the Vans Warped Tour as a touring tour. So in 2019, Vans Warped Tour stopped touring around the country as, different dates as we knew it from its inception in the early 90s. And then it started to pop up in single locations, right? And so over this past weekend, Washington, D.C. was the site where people got to go and flock and skank and get in the pit and do the damn thing at the Vans Warped Tour again. And it was a happening nonetheless. I mean, acts like Asking Alexandria, Avril Lavigne, Fever 333, Ice Nine Kills, MGK put on a killer set, covered the Goo Goo Dolls' Iris. I mean, that was really cool. Slaughter to Prevail. Sublime was there. We Came as Romans. But I think what a lot of people were really fixated on was just the return of the brand in general. I mean, if you're like me, a kid of the 90s that grew up, every summer meant going to Warped Tour and Ozfest, respectfully. I mean, they were two tours that had my favorite kind of music, and it was just one of those things that when it went away, you kind of saw that gap because there wasn't really an outlet on some of these harder festivals for bands that played ska, the bands that were more like pop punk. And so the return of the Vans Warped Tour, where you can facilitate a band like Slaughter to Prevail right next to, Derek from Sum 41, who came out with his ex-wife, Avril Lavigne. And you forget that Derek from Sum 41 produced so many of her records. And yeah, they came out, they did a Sum 41 song as well. And I thought it was kind of cool. So the next stop, I believe, is Orlando for Vans Warped Tour. And if you want to get tickets, there are a few other stops, and you can see bands like Simple Plan, Bowling for Soup. I mean, some of the regular suspects are all there. Less Than Jake, as we get. I think they may be one of the most iconic bands to ever play the Vans Warped Tour. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from Florida. They were just sort of like what the Vans Warped Tour represented forever. It was kind of founded on punk rock and ska, and between them and Pennywise, and Sick of It All, I don't really know who would represent Vans Warped Tour better than those guys. The first time since 2022, Bon Jovi hit the stage again. This is something that we in the rock and roll industry did not think was going to happen. John's voice, he really suffered some damage to his vocal cords. He had some polyps and just was not really doing so well when it came to performing. And he kind of had to bow out of that 2022 tour. And most people thought we may never see Bon Jovi play live again. So right down the street where I live in Nashville, John Bon Jovi, right on Broadway, opened up his own honky-tonk called JBJ's. And I was there for the opening, got to hang out with the guys, Tico Torres. I mean, come on, everybody was there. Got to meet John. It was so cool, man. Interview those guys, and they were just so gracious. But the one thing that obviously was on everybody's mind was, are we ever going to get to see John perform again? Now, there were different performances when JBJ's first opened on Lower Broadway. From the band, like, Tico Torres would come in, different band members would be in and out of different sets that were happening at JBJ's, but not actually John himself. Well, that all changed over the weekend when they hit the stage at Marathon Music Works. Now, this venue, guys, is one of my favorites in Nashville. It is so rad. I just saw last August, I saw Newfound Glory there. In this venue to see Bon Jovi, I mean, I can't even imagine how amazing this was. This was like a destination sort of trip. They booked it with an actual travel agency where you could book your plans to come to Nashville and see this really once-in-a-lifetime show. And it was a show where they took all your cell phones, put them in the Yonder bags, So if you wanted to use your phone, you had to actually leave inside where the music was happening and walk outside into the lobby, and then you were able to access your phone in the Yonder bag. But because of that, there's not a whole lot of footage out there. And I don't know, that says a couple different things to me. That says like, well, did they not really know how the show was going to go? And because of that, they didn't want a bunch of video if John wasn't able to perform up to expectations. Well, that could be true. But the other side to that is that there's literally no video or audio of the entire concert. So we really don't know what happened unless you were there at Music Works. And man, Marathon Music Works, to have a band like Bon Jovi, I mean, that is absolutely so rad. But I'm going to cross my fingers, stay encouraged, and hope that this is the beginning to maybe a world tour from Bon Jovi. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but yeah, definitely if you're in Nashville, check it out on Lower Broadway, JBJ's, one of the most unique honky tonks. And actually, when you walk into JBJ's, obviously standing for John Bon Jovi, they have this AI version of John. Literally, you can talk to it. As people have came and visited JBJ's, apparently the AI, I don't know, what do you call it? Hologram? Yeah, hologram, right? The hologram gets more and more intelligent in conversation. So if you talk to John like this summer, well, wait till you talk to him next summer. The hologram's going to be way more aware, all right? Which is honestly kind of scary. Another tour kicking off this fall. This is kind of cool, man. Devo and the B-52s have announced that they are touring together, which, hey, I'll check that out, man. This is allegedly Devo's last tour. Now, every band that says that, I'm always so skeptical if, you know, everybody loves to, oh, this is it. See you later. Black Sabbath. But yeah, it's allegedly their last tour. We'll see what happens. But I mean, if you're into that kind of thing, you know, some 80s sort of pop alternative, well, I mean, that could be something that you see coming through your market. So I've been laid up on the couch the last couple of days, like glued to the TV. There's been a few things that I've gotten into. I just kind of wanted to share like what I'm watching with you guys. I don't know if you guys have seen Tires with Shane Gillis. You know, Shane Gillis, one of the biggest comedians on the planet right now. And he dropped this show called Tires. It's sort of like in the vein of The Office, but they run basically like a Goodyear tire shop. And he runs it with his cousin. And the cast of characters, I mean, Andrew Schultz is in it. Just absolutely phenomenal. Season 1 was super funny, and I was really anticipating season 2, and it definitely did not disappoint. It's on Netflix right now. Like, I just barreled through all of the episodes the other night. They're only 30 minutes. They're so easy and just super funny. It's just a great hang. Sit down, blaze one up, and enjoy Tires. The other thing I was watching was on HBO Max, which is the documentary on the life of Paul Reubens, a.k.a. Pee Wee Herman. And this was fascinating because there was a lot that I didn't realize that I didn't know about Paul Reubens, Pee Wee Herman. You know, I was always a huge fan as a kid. And then when his unfortunate movie theater accident happened down in Tampa, literally the guy was cast out of Hollywood. I mean, you know, granted, he was doing a show that was geared towards kids, and he was caught masturbating in an adult theater, which I don't know. What do you do there anyway? I kind of maybe thought that was going to happen. You know what I mean? But that's neither here nor there. The backstory of Paul Reubens, the way he grew up, the performance aspect of different members of his family, you can kind of see where he got his theatrics from. You can definitely get a feeling of how he was shaped as a human being and just how incredibly talented Pee Wee Herman was. Now, the interesting thing was during this entire documentary, it's first-person camera. Paul, he's sitting there doing the full interview the entire time, and you realize that as he's talking, he's hiding the fact from the world that he is dying of cancer. And literally just braved through all of the filming of that and was just brutally honest, like not a lot of people would be, and just kind of left it all out on the line. It's a 2-part series, and if you haven't seen it yet, it's on Max, and I would definitely suggest it. One more TV hit here, the return of House of Dragons. Now, this is season 2. Game of Thrones fans really met House of Dragon with a lot of mixed reviews. I think we were all very excited. I think the storyline did not move as fast as like a lot of people wanted it to, but it's set to return later on this month, and there's also going to be a spinoff of Game of Thrones as well, like another spinoff that they're putting in the works. So, yeah, over the next few months, we're going to get to enjoy season 2. And, listen, I'm ready. How long did we wait? And we're still waiting for Euphoria. I mean, come on. So, we found out last week on the show that Stranger Things will not debut until the fall. So this could be something that limps us through till we get to Stranger Things. And hopefully there's a little more action in season 2 of House of Dragon. Yeah, so I had a good weekend this weekend. It was Father's Day weekend. Shout out to my kids for treating me like a king over the weekend. I really appreciated that. And, it's kind of funny. I actually got to check out my good friend Matt Brown, the immortal, of course, former UFC welterweight and, just literally one of my best friends. He has a new band, and they debuted over the weekend, and I'm going to try to get them in here in the next couple of weeks so you can see a different side to Matt Brown. Just punching chords out, bro, on the guitar, not punching faces. But yeah, they had a great set. They were really good, and I don't want to get too much into it. I would like to have them in before we start talking about the band a whole lot, but that was something that I enjoyed this weekend. And please feel free, if you ever see me out, man, definitely stop, say what's up, we'll take a picture, whatever you want. But there's some people that are a little skittish to come say hi, and we have a policy: if you see me out, you shout, okay? Please. All right. If you haven't yet, make sure you go on and follow me on Instagram and subscribe to this YouTube channel. That's how you get in for the incarceration tickets. Like literally 10 minutes after I'm done filming here, I'm going to draw another name. So if you're not in, hey, it's on you. 3-day passes to incarceration, all the bands you want to see. It's going to be absolute mayhem. Mansfield, we're just a couple of weeks out right now. So if not, here's all the details in the full lineup.
Incarceration, America's rock, metal, and tattoo festival with Slipknot. Falling in Reverse. 5-Finger Death Punch. Plus Marilyn Manson, 3 Days Grace, Beartooth, Knocked Loose, Lamb of God, Parkway Drive, I Prevail, In This Moment, and so many more. Report to the Ohio State Reformatory on July 18th through 20th, 2025 to face your sentencing. 3 days of rock, tattoos, and the return of the Haunted Blood Prison. Passes for incarceration are on sale now at incarceration.com.
All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks for supporting the show this week. I really appreciate it. Like and subscribe, and we're back with a brand new show all next week. And if you haven't seen all the episodes, man, we have like a nice library of material for you guys to comb through. So if you haven't hit some of the back episodes, make sure you definitely go and check that out right here on the Loper Show YouTube channel, man. Really appreciate you guys, and I'll see you next Tuesday.